Welcome back. The stage is set for a fresh confrontation between the centre and the Supreme Court Collegium. The flashpoint is over the Collegium's second recommendation for the elevation of the openly gay lawyer Saurabh Kirpal as the High Court judge. Kirpal's appointment has been pending since 2017 when he was first recommended by the Delhi High Court Collegium because of the centre's objections. But in November 2021, the Supreme Court backed Kirpal's appointment. Now it turns out the government has conveyed its own set of objections. So the objections that have been mentioned by the centre also speak about the fact that he is openly gay. This is something that has been mentioned by the centre, saying he could be biased if he is appointed judge. Also objecting because he has a Swiss partner with whom he has an intimate relationship. So these are the statements that have been made by the government, whereas the Collegium has countered it, citing constitutionally recognized rights, also saying that his inclusion is going to add value as well as provide inclusion and diversity, also saying his partner is from a friendly nation, so there is no reason to worry. So Saurabh Kirpal, if elevated, would be the first openly gay lawyer to be appointed a High Court judge. The 50-year-old is a son of the former Chief Justice of India, B.N. Kirpal. In fact, Saurabh Kirpal came on the News Hour in November 2022, and this is what he had to say about his case.
In the Collegium system where you said 3.5 years, the courts took to clear your name, and now for the last 1 year, the government is sitting on it. Do you think you've got justice in this country? And if you as a legal luminary have not got it, what about the common man?
Look, as they say, justice delayed is justice denied. But I don't think that is the truth in my case. I think I stand for a particular cause, and if it's taking time, it's taking time because mine is a novel situation. And I am a believer in evolution, not revolution. So if it's taking its time, let it take its time, as long as the correct decision is ultimately taken, right? Every time there is change that happens in courts, we have seen it takes its own time. And that's something that we accept. It's a constitution to which we abide by, part of which is the courts with their own systems. So I have no option but to respect that. And if it takes time, it takes time. I can only beseech those who are in power to take decisions more quickly. But I cannot do more than that.
Mr. Sanjay Hegde, Rahul Ishwar, Shaman Gupta, as well as Vasu Primlani joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Sanjay Hegde, how do you look at the response that has come in from the centre? In the minuses, it has mentioned the fact that the judge is openly gay, and that's also something that has been mentioned by the centre that has been sitting on it.
Should not matter in this day and age. But I would not like to confine the this discussion only to what the Collegium has said on Mr. Kirpal. The Collegium has reiterated 3 names on which the government has had objections. On one of the objections to one of the people was that there were some social media posts. The Collegium has also said that, look, people are entitled to have an opinion. So what the Collegium is basically telling the government is that as long as people are able to function in a judicial capacity, and the Collegium thinks so, in the interest of diversity, appointments should be made. Okay. And the government has objected. The government has even had a raw inquiry into Mr. Kirpal. Since when did RAW get into the business of spying on Indian citizens?
In fact, when Saurabh himself spoke to us, we just played out a clip from NewsHour as well. He said, justice delayed is justice denied. But in my case, I'm going to be waiting. But how significant is it going to be, Vasu? Now that the Supreme Court has also backed it, saying every individual is entitled to maintain their own dignity and pushing for it yet again. All right, let me take this. Can I request Shaman Gupta to take this on how significant it's going to be? Even if there have been reservations from the centre, the Supreme Court has said yet again that every individual is entitled to maintain their dignity and individuality based on sexual orientation, and pushing for the name of Saurabh yet again.
Yeah, Pratibha, I think the statements made by the Collegium and led by the Justice Chandrachud will create a good wave amongst the LGBT community, because it's the word and the statement they use matter a lot. The government continuously opposing marriage act, as well as continuously saying even within this that the person being gay can form biases, whereas the Supreme Court Collegium saying no, it'll add value. You must look at the competence of the person and not whether the person is gay or not. So definitely it will be very empowering for the community if the person is elected.
Okay, all right. Let me take this across to legal editor Harish Nair, who's also on the broadcast with us. Harish, very, very significant. Even if the centre has opposed it, the Supreme Court yet again pushing for Saurabh Bhardwaj's inclusion, pointing out that his open, the fact that he is open is also going to bring in a lot of diversity into the panel.
Yes, in fact, Pratibha, we should remember that this is the third time his name has been reiterated by the Supreme Court Collegium, and as per the memorandum of procedure for appointment of judges, once a name has been reiterated by the Collegium, it is binding on the government. The government should appoint this person as a judge. So, as you rightly said, it's a big boost and recognition of the LGBTQ rights in the country. Okay. As if it is clear, Saurabh Kirpal is going to be the first gay judge in the country, and
absolutely. In fact, Saurabh Kirpal, if elevated, would be the first openly gay lawyer to be appointed a High Court judge. Many thanks for joining us.